And it's recording. It's already going. It's going, man.
It's going, and look at this. My bottle's empty.
Oh,
That's
man.
Not good.
No, that's not a good way to start the show, my man.
It is not. Good thing I come prepared.
Oh, good. Do you come prepared? Do you always,
I always
come with protection?
Prepared. Preparedness.
Bring protection, kids. Bring protection when you're around Corey Rokes.
Bring protection when you're listening to Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions. Welcome to this week's episode. I'm Corey Rokes, your drunkard host.
I'm Graham Stebniewski. I'm your high opinionated motherfucker.
I like to go with the alliteration, high-minded miser.
Sure. High-minded.
He's like the
miser.
Grinch.
I'll
but
go
more
with
green.
it.
He's green in other ways.
I'll go for it. So what are you making over there, Corey?
Alcohol.
Well, I mean, obviously, but what is your poison of choice?
My poison this evening, some cheap-ass vodka, Zvedka, which is, for anybody who doesn't know, that is like the poor man's vodka. Hello.
Mm.
And mixing it with some sparkling water, in this case, that bubbly bullshit, I don't know, just whatever. I mean, you're going to see it a couple times tonight because it's just easy to mix drinks that way. We've been doing this show so often, I'm running out of mixers. I mean, I could make a... Hold on. No, I only have sweet vermouth. I don't have any dry vermouth. So I could make like a vodka martini or a gin martini that is extremely dry, I guess. So maybe we'll see where the night takes us. But for now...
Wonderful.
I've been pre-gaming with beer and UV blue with my friend. I just ran home to start the show with you, so I'm a couple of drinks in, and then it's going to be a good night. How about you? What's your sticky icky of choice?
You know what? I'm just smoking my reserve. You know, the stuff that I smoke. So I'm like that. It just to smoke. It's the weed that I smoke to smoke. It's not anything in particular. It's not like sativa or indica. It's a hybrid. I just, I smoke it to get high. There's no purpose of like, oh, I want to work or I want to go to sleep. It's just kind of multi-purpose. And I forget its name. I don't have the bag in front of me. I just ground up a bunch and brought it in here. So I'm not doing my work.
Sticky punch.
It's something like that. I think it's like, Pink Delight or something. I don't know. But it's good, and it gets me there. So,
hey, man, whatever gets you there, buddy. That's what we say here on Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions. Whatever gets you there.
But, before we started, I wanted to really quickly try and sell you on something. I've been watching House of the Dragon.
The new Game of Thrones spinoff.
Yeah, I've been watching it, and it took a few episodes for me to like really get my footing there. I think it was my long-awaited or long-induced souring of Game of Thrones.
Because Graham, you were pretty sour on that ending.
I loved Game of Thrones, and when the ending came, I defended it. I thought it was good. I blinded myself with my love of the show, and I was just like, no, they made the right decision. They did what they had to do. And then after about 2 years, I was slowly like, I just fucking like
you came
realized.
To the dark side of hatred.
Probably a little closer to like
hate on
year.
the pop culture. And
I just like slowly realized. I watched it again, and I was like, fuck. I know where they went wrong, and I know I know how they could have fixed it. So obviously, I was a little adverse going in here. I was like, "This is just a cash grab. This is just them, like
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's obviously a cash grab." But I was like, "It's just going to be a bad cash grab." But I have a friend who
hold on. You have a friend? You have friends?
I do, who are not you. So fuck you, and get over it. You know what? I could replace your ass anytime. You say you can replace me as High Opinions on this show. I could replace your ass as Drunk Thoughts.
I feel hurt and personally attacked by this statement.
All right. Fucking feel that way. So
I'm sad now.
I have a friend who we connected over Game of Thrones.
I'm going to drink to wash away my solace.
You drink and wash away that solace while I finish this story.
Okay.
And so this friend, we connected over Game of Thrones and our kind of frustration with how it ended. And now that the show is out, she's been kind of encouraging me to continue watching it, and so I've jumped back in, and I watched 2 episodes just before we jumped on.
Hold the fuck up! We're talking to a female.
Yes.
So I'm not replaceable because I'm male. She's female. There's a difference.
Hey, anybody can be replaced with anybody. I'm just saying.
That is true. Gender equality. Drunk thoughts and high opinions.
Yeah, exactly, motherfucker. So,
I'm just surprised to hear you talking to a female.
Ouch. And that personally offends me. All right.
Karma's a bitch.
And so I'm watching it, and I'm really getting into it. It's fucking dark, and they're taking a lot more low roads than
clarification
even did. Yeah. What?
When you say dark, do you mean the tone and the story is dark, or the actual picture? Because I heard one of the more recent episodes was about as dark as the one of the episodes in season 8 of Game of Thrones, where basically everybody was watching a pitch black screen. For an hour.
That might be episode 7. I haven't seen that one.
Okay.
Episode I just watched up through episode 6. So could be. I don't know. But
right,
I was talking tonally. The first few episodes it still had some fucking brutal deaths in practically every episode. In episode 5, there's a guy who like a knight protector of the princess who gets so offended.
Spoilers.
I'm not just throwing this out there. He gets so offended by something that another guy says that he just like bludgeons the guy's face until he's dead in the middle of a fucking wedding. They love killing people at weddings in this universe.
It definitely seems like that. I'm officiating a wedding next year, and I really hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's be honest. How many deaths occur at weddings outside of the Song of Ice and Fire universe?
Have you been to the Midwest lately?
Oh God.
Hey, what's that wine you're drinking?
I'm not drinking wine. I've been drinking carbonated water and finding different ways to, flavor it up, and found that I could make my own soda with just like syrups. They sell syrups at the store, so I've made some Pepsi and some root beer, which is what I'm drinking right now.
It looks like wine.
I mean, that's also because it's dark in here, so...
And no carbonation.
Yeah. Yeah, the carbonation has slowly gone away.
That root beer looks flatter than my ex-girlfriend's ass. Just gonna throw that out there.
Okay. I don't know why you had to bring your ex-girlfriend into this. She certainly didn't ask to be brought into this.
Yeah, well, she ain't watching this. Trust me, I burned that bridge.
Regardless, she didn't ask to be brought into this. Just saying.
Let's get off my girlfriend's ass.
Yeah,
my ex-girlfriend's ass.
I'm just saying. It's not unnecessary. It's unnecessary because she wouldn't listen to it, but you mentioned it, so she could. She might because you mentioned it.
I'm still
the probability that she listens to it goes higher because you have mentioned.
So speaking of ex-girlfriends and horrible segues, I recently watched Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh yeah,
how's that?
I
for
did
a
too.
Horrible segue for
that
you?
is a horrible segue, but I'll take it.
Do you like that?
I'll take it. Whatever you want to do, boy.
Whatever it takes to get off the subject of my ex-girlfriend's ass.
Yeah.
Pretty much take any exit off that highway you can get to. Huh?
Yes.
No, I was watching it last night on Disney Plus. I haven't seen it since it was in theaters, and obviously that movie deals with a lot of the fallout that happens between Thor and Jane Foster.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was quote unquote suspiciously absent from like Age of Ultron through Endgame. We didn't see her for anything. And so that whole movie, like a lot of that movie, is Thor getting, not quite getting over her, but reminiscing and reconnecting with Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I think they did well in that film.
The theme of that part is really well done. The catharsis of like trying to find a good middle ground of working with somebody whom you have a strong connection to. Like there's a lot there from that standpoint. And the movie does do a lot of things very well, but on the rewatch, it does a lot of things horribly as well, in my opinion. Like, holy shit. Let's see the bong. How clean is the bong? Let's get a bong update.
Cleaned it about 4 days ago.
Yeah, that's like 4 days too many. That is a dirty bong water.
Whew.
Did you at least switch out the water recently?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that makes it even worse if the water looks like that.
Remember.
If you said, I haven't touched it since I cleaned it, I've been like, all right, well, at least the water's dirty for
Well, I cleaned out the water after, like, 1 day, and then it just didn't. But
oh, so it's 4-day-old bong.
3-day-old
bong water.
Yes. Yeah.
Fair. Okay. That makes
But
sense.
remember, this is a small bong. It gets dirty fast.
I don't care what the size of your bong, you know.
Shut up.
If a girl hasn't told you, size doesn't matter, man.
Okay. Anyway. What
I
is
don't care how big or small your bong is.
Finish your thought about Love and Thunder. Don't bring my fucking bong into this.
Where was I going with this?
Yeah, where were you going with this?
Your dirty bong distracted me. No, I have some strong drunken thoughts on Love and Thunder overall. Starting with the fact that as much of a douche Christian Bale seems off screen as like a pretentious douche, he's really good in this movie.
Yeah, I loved him in this film.
He's just chewing the scenery and just having so much fun with it.
Like, I rewatched it after, like, I watched it when they first put it on Disney Plus, which was, what, just a month ago?
Give or take.
So I rewatched it again yesterday because we were going to talk about it today, and...
Spoilers. You all right on there?
Yeah, it's just the carbonation. Also, I ate a lot of food. But I like it. Honestly, I have no problem with it. The problem I have with most Marvel projects, especially from Phase 2 and 3, as we've talked about, is that they are trying too hard to be heavy-handed. You know, they're trying too hard to have a big, you know, like, solid message. And I'm like, I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking for some fun action. I'm looking for some silly, you know, world building and some characters who grow a little bit. I'm not looking for some huge shit. Just make it fun, lighthearted, maybe a little sad here and there. And that's what this movie delivered for me. It was silly. It was goofy. It was off the wall. It had a lot of heart. And sure, it did some things that would be considered very stupid for Phase 1 and Phase 2. But I think that it just shows that we're moving into a different time, and they're embracing the weirdness. And if you look at comics, like, this isn't Sandman, this isn't Watchmen, this isn't Hellboy, this isn't the BPRD universe. Those are high art. Those are philosophical and psychological, and I'm not looking for that in an Iron Man comic. I'm not looking for that in a Captain America comic. When I read one of those comics, I'm just looking for a little bit of entertainment. And that's what these movies are supposed to deliver for me. It's just a little bit of entertainment. If I want something that's deep and philosophical and makes me think about, you know, the world at large, I'm gonna go watch the new Sandman series or read the Sandman comics or read the BPRD universe, which I've just started, and you know, those are high art. Marvel is not high art. It's entertainment. It's fun. It's good. It's very, very, very entertaining. So for anybody who is like losing their shit over everything that's happening right now, I'm just tired of hearing it. It's elitist. It's not what the comics are about. What these people are asking for. It's not what the comics are about. So just accept the fact that they're getting closer to what the comics are truly like. Fun, action-packed, heartfelt and occasionally a little sad, but mostly just entertaining. And that's what the movies are delivering, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
That's fair. That was really well put. That was a nice cohesive statement. Not I think you need to smoke another hit from that bong or let that last bong
No, I
rip.
think that bowl really helped. Honestly, we could.
Like,
we
you
could,
just got like laser focused on a point there. I'm like, well, shit, he's on a roll. I'm gonna let him talk.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's rare for me. So I was like, all right, well, he's on it. All right, I'm gonna respectfully disagree. About 75% of what you said. I do agree that we're past phase 1 and phase 2 where things have to be overtly serious or grounded in realism. Phase 1 kind of made you believe that, like, this shit could really be happening. There could be an egotistical, technological billionaire making this shit, or, you know, Thor could be coming to our world. Like, they really based it, you know, in a serious fantasy versus a superficial fantasy or a fantabulous fantasy where it was just like way high art. It was a little more low key art. And it's been kind of rising to that since phase 3, and now we're in phase 4, we're coming to the end of it. But there's a limit. There's a balance that needs to be struck in my mind where these IP, where what makes a Marvel show or, you know, show or movie good at this point is striking that balance between, like, the realism of it and the comedic and the entertaining and the comic booky shtick of it all. And that's where, so, like, that's where Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy, like Loki, the show, a lot of these IP kind of landed where they were really good at balancing those two things. Love and Thunder felt like Taika knew where the balance was, because, I mean, he's proven where he knows where the balance is from Ragnarok, and was like, I'm going to go one step further. And that one step was just not necessary. There are so many great pivotal moments in Ragnarok that are just undercut by stupid humor. It's one of those things, like, if they had just cut it before it got stupid in some points, before it just got ridiculous, like over the top and became like shtick or comedic, it could have worked. It could have been just so much better, and it let it sit. A scene I'll call out that's very early on in the movie is, so Thor comes back to Earth, and as Gore is invading New Asgard, and he ends up kidnapping all the kids, and obviously the whole town is in an uproar about losing their kids. And there's a moment where Thor is standing off to the side while Valkyrie is trying to be the king of New Asgard and address all the citizens' concerns, and she's really doing her best to be diplomatic and calm and patient and being a good leader about it. And Thor, with one shout, quiets the whole town. He's able to quiet the whole town and reassure them that he will figure this out. And it's a great moment for like 20 seconds where he's like, people of Asgard, listen to me. Your children have been taken, but I will get them back for you, because I am Thor, Odin's son, and, like, I will protect you, and and so forth. And it's a really fun moment. Like, it's a really, like, good character moment that he, whether or not he wants to be the leader of these people, he is of the people. He is a person who is of the people of Asgard, that he holds them in high regard and would do almost anything for those people. And it's a really great moment for him, in my opinion. But then the moment continues for like another 30 seconds, and he starts bumbling his words and repeating what he said. He's like, there's no reason to be scared and afraid and scared and afraid. Like, he does that thing where he kind of repeats the same adjective or verb. I always mix those two up. and then it just becomes comedic, and he's just bumbling and ridiculous, and it's like, dude.
I don't know about you, but I've read a lot of comics where they
I have.
have those scenes in them. Not necessarily exactly that, but scenes where it all of a sudden gets kind of goofy at the end, and it's like, well, you could have ended the scene before that, but it's really funny that they continued and they show the humanness of the character being fucking goofy and human and being you and doing a moment that you, the audience, have experienced, where like in public speaking, like what you just described, like we've all been in class and had to give a speech or something and started doing that and start bumbling our words and going, oh fuck, no, that's not what I meant. What I meant to say was covalent bonds are covalent bonds, but covalent bonds. Sorry, no, isosceles. And so like you people have like those kind
you
of
start bumbling a little bit.
Exactly.
I get that. You're 100% right on that front.
So
and there are some good panels that do that.
So I think that it's not perfect. Obviously, this movie is not a fucking perfect movie. I'm not saying it is, but I would rather watch this than a lot of the earlier stuff. Not like I love Phase 1 and like several movies in Phase 2 and 3. We've talked about this, but I've loved a lot of stuff in Phase 4. There's so much of it. I don't feel the need to rewatch it. I just enjoy that it was there. I enjoyed watching it, and I'm excited for the next stuff. I know what came before. If I need a reminder, I'll go back and watch it at some point. But I'm so happy that there's so much of it because it's just dumb entertainment at this point. That's what I love about it. That's what I love. Comics, especially the heavily serialized ones, Batman, Superman, in the DC comics, Wonder Woman, these characters who, no matter what, get some sort of issue every 2 weeks, in some form or another, you're going to get those characters coming out. Mm-hmm. Same thing at Marvel. A lot of those characters are like Spider-Man, almost constantly in some form or another is getting a new issue, even if it's a new character. It could be Peter Parker or Miles Morales or anything, or if they jump into different multiverses, they will put out a Spider-Man comic very consistently, and same with a lot of these other characters. And I think of these characters that they're doing shows for now as kind of that they're starting to get into that motion for TV. Like we've talked about before.
You mentioned this in the past.
Like we've talked
where
about
it was
before.
like TV shows are now becoming more like comic books in the sense that they're going to crank them out almost every month, and you have almost like a new issue.
Yeah.
Very frequently. You have a good point there, but I feel like we've detracted from the main point of Love and Thunder. So just to circle back to that, I agree with you that there are a few points in the movie where keeping the scene going works really well, and it's hysterical.
But it does it too many times.
It doesn't need to happen as frequent as it does.
Sure, I'll agree with that.
There are points. I was just like, the example I was giving was an example where I just don't think it did not need to happen.
Fair enough.
Now, like before that, there's a little bit of a half scene where he's watching Valkyrie and Jane Foster interact with the townspeople, and he's trying to get Mjolnir, the hammer, back on his side.
And then the axe comes in.
And then the axe comes in.
And
they do that several times. And like, all right, the first time, funny. Second time, even more funny. Third time, oh my god, that's hysterical. Fourth time, all right, it's getting kind of old, bro.
Okay,
Fifth time, like, all right, we get it. The axe is jealous of the hammer. Get over it. Like,
completely fair.
First, and then it even begs the question, like, how sentient are these weapons? Like, at one point, he's calling Mjolnir like a dog.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but shake my head, like, oh my god. I
did watch this movie and think, like, it does feel like Taika Waititi, but it also feels like Taika Waititi sold out and phoned it in. So he took the check and then really phoned it in and was like, "I'll put the Taika Waititi charm on it." And so that's the criticism I'll give for it.
Yeah,
I enjoy it
that's
despite that, but I think that he kind of did phone it in terms of
he went full
I
YTT.
don't think that he wrote really. I think that he let a bunch of other writers who because I think there are several other writers on the project. I believe you can look this up while I fucking blather on, but
I ain't gonna look at shit up. I think he let a lot of improv happen too.
he also let a lot of improv happen.
Because Hemsworth is a funny dude.
Yeah, very funny dude. Most of the people in the cast are very funny people. Like,
Yeah.
remember Natalie Portman did the sketch with Lonely Island, where she's just shitting on her.
Yeah,
She is a
right?
funny person. She can be very funny. So like it's no doubt that
Sorry.
no doubt that it has
Hina
a
Madala knows how to
very
laugh at
funny-
herself.
No, yeah, exactly. There's no doubt that this group
No
good.
doubt. Gwen Stefani turned 53 yesterday. No doubt.
and of course with Taika Waititi, I think that Disney wanted more Taika in the show, in the movie.
Well,
I don't
that's the
know
thing.
if it
So, like,
was
that's my
him.
theory. Is Ragnarok? Ragnarok was a blend of old Thor and new Thor, in someone's eyes, whether it's not Taika or Disney.
Yeah,
And that was like the transition movie.
yeah.
And then Love and Thunder was the full new Thor, where he's just a goof. He's
Yeah.
just fucking
just a
stupid.
goof.
And and
I'm
that's my
fine with
biggest
it, honestly,
beef.
but
I'm not.
I understand the criticism, of course.
And this is even taking away from the whole, like, as we've discussed, issue of me who likes continuity for continuity's sake, of like, if this is how you present something, it should stick with that throughout the series. So, like, Ragnarok I had a beef with for a while because it was the different movie of Thor the Dark World, and then Thor Ragnarok. Ragnarok stand out because it was different, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that it continued on. But then you watch Love and Thunder, and it's a total 180 from the character they presented. So even setting that aside, he's just a fucking moron.
So, Corey, I'm gonna have to remind you. I understand that you do not like retcons.
Hey, are you gonna
I
try
can-
to educate me on Norse mythology?
No, I'm not at all. I'm going a completely different direction than you thought. But
Okay.
and now you've almost made me lose my fuck. I'm losing the point. God damn it.
This is why you get a notepad.
No.
So you're gonna remind me what I said Thor is totally different from the originals, and
Oh yeah, you're forgetting that Disney and Marvel have infamously retconned things very subtly, and not so subtly at times, where they'll just like
Yeah, this wasn't
change
subtle.
things, and so so they're not afraid to just change stuff and say this is how it really was, this is how it is going forward. So that's just how this universe works, and I know that you are a fan of cohesion, of continuity.
yeah, cohesion. That's a good
Cohesion,
word for it.
continuity. You are a fan of these things, and I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen because Disney and Marvel won't let it happen. Because they will change whatever they need to make money and to make the world work better in their favor. And they'll explain it away however they need to, or they won't, because fuck it.
Yeah, there's something definitely to be said about that. Disney is gonna, crank out that ATM and however they see fit. You're 100% right there. I'm not gonna disagree with that opinion. I just, fucking A. Just, there's so many things about this movie that just, like, bug me.
Understandable.
You had some strong opinions about the goats, and I have some
I
strong
don't-
negative
so-
thoughts about the goats.
So, for me, the goats... you've seen Wet Hot American Summer, Corey, correct?
Only because you showed me it.
So, you're familiar with the pot-breaking sound, which is frequently used in that movie. It is the same pot breaking sound as in The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, where we're breaking vases and shit.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, you said
basically
pot breaking sound. I was like, who's smoking weed?
no. When
Sorry, I was
you're
thinking like
breaking,
pot isn't
no,
like pot. No, you're talking about like pottery.
yeah, like pottery. Yeah, exactly. When you're smashing pottery in Legend of Zelda, and it always has that very distinct sound effect. And in Zelda,
Intimately
it's
familiar
not
with that.
funny, but however, in Wet Hot American Summer, they use it for everything. They use it for everything being tossed off screen, and it even when it is, and most frequently, very inappropriate to use it for the context. And I love it every single time. I think it is hilarious. Audible jokes like that almost always make me laugh, so I can't explain it. The goats are hilarious to me. Every time they appear, every time I start hearing them scream, I start laughing. And literally, the high pitched scream makes me laugh so hard. For me, in any context, like somebody comically laughing, screaming like high pitched, is just automatically hilarious to me. I don't know why.
I do know why.
Why?
Because you are Gen Z or Z, depending on the country of nationality that you're listening in. I feel like that is and I'm not trying to criticize you here. Just I want that on the record. Not trying to insult Graham. I'm making a generalization of the entire Gen Z population.
Oh, so worse.
Yeah, exactly. So you get it.
This is why I smoke.
Yeah, well, I just made my third drink of the night, so get fucked. Gen Zs are raised on instant humor, instant gratification. There's like they're used to that. No, they're not interested in the slow burn of a joke. They want not you. They want instant humor, and a goat going "Meow" every 5 seconds is fucking funny because it's quick, simple, and easy. There's no nuance to the humor there. Whereas my generation, and I'm not trying to be an old fart like, well, back in my day. No, it's just, we grew up on a different style of humor that just isn't the same. And so, yeah, when they come out, it's funny because like the goats are meant to be a butt of a gift. The guy gives them to Thor with the intent like, these goats are fucking annoying and they're a problem now. Haha. So the first time you see him, yeah, that's funny. And then you see him on the ship and the Guardians are dealing with him. Yeah, that's still pretty funny.
But I would
and then
argue,
they put him on the ship
okay.
to captain the ship. Still kind of funny. But then at that point, it's like, it's getting fucking old.
But I would argue once it starts to get old, as I've said before, keep going until it gets old, and then keep going until it's funny again. And that is not from my generation. That is from your generation and before, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a Gen X thing. That sounds like a Carlin quote.
Yeah, you the joke.
But there's differences.
That's what I
know.
felt with the goats. Is like there is like one part where the goats are not funny. Like one part where the goats are not funny, and then the next part the goats are funny again. And I think it's because it like no matter what, it would have been that one. It would have been that like in order. I think it was a certain point of like it gets old at that point, and then it's funny again. You know, and it's different for everybody. Maybe some people just never find it funny. But
there's argument. There is a foothold to your argument there. I will agree with you on that.
It's different for every
I don't
person.
agree with it personally, but I think objectively, if I was to think about it, okay, go until it's funny again.
Yeah.
Where like the two, maybe one or two, maybe three times in the middle where it's just fucking stupid. Is just meant to be fucking stupid, and then you're like, those goats are still fucking at it.
Exactly, and Taika Waititi is famous for that kind of comedy. Like look at What We Do in the Shadows. That film is filled with kinds of things like that, where it's like they kind of overdo the joke, and then they keep doing it, and it becomes even funnier because it keeps going. Well,
I guess in my mind, the jokes is kind of like it's the goat screaming is just another one in the long line of jokes that are like, all right,
Yeah.
it started funny, now it's getting old,
yeah,
because it just happens so often. Like the axe, like we mentioned before, the
Fair.
axe. It's funny that it's jealous of Mjolnir and it almost acts like a jealous significant other, and then it keeps doing it over and over and over, and you're just like, dude, find something else.
it was for me almost like they were joking at the idea that this would become a major plot point, is his relationship with his axe. I thought.
See, I didn't even think it was a major plot point. I just thought it was.
It was
stupid.
joking about the idea. It was joking about the very concept.
No, I never
of
even
it.
got that.
I
It wasn't even like I never even
idea.
picked up on that. I
I'm
picked
throwing
up
out an
on.
idea.
Yeah, maybe. You could be right. I just didn't pick up on it.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I did not pick up on that as an idea. I picked up on it as a stupid joke that happened once. Somebody in the writers' room was like, "What if Stormbreaker was like jealous of Mjolnir, and anytime he's talking or thinking about Mjolnir, Stormbreaker just kind of appears over his shoulder?"
Yeah.
And then another person went, "Yes," like Rick and Morty style, and they made it happen over and over and over and over in the movie. First time it was funny. Second time it was still pretty funny. Third time, like, fourth time, okay, we get it. The axe doesn't like the hammer. Move on. So,
That's
this
fair.
movie, like I said, the movie does a lot of things good. It just overdoes it in a lot of points. Like, it just needed to reel itself in at certain points. Because if everything is funny and everything is stupid and over the top goofy, then none of it is. You know what I'm saying? It makes there's no highs and lows, because if it's all high, then there's no middle ground, there's no low. It's
And
just
that's where
the
I
same.
think in this film in particular he phoned it in.
yeah. I think we've just we might have discussed it off air, but like Taika had no intention of coming back. He didn't even know there was a fourth movie when he finished Ragnarok, and then they just announced Thor will return, and he's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And so he
Yeah.
kind of blew all his good ideas in Ragnarok, and I mean, I think it shows, because Ragnarok objectively is a great fucking movie.
Ragnarok is the superior film, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I like Ragnarok was a successful a successful production of what I have just described, a comic come to life. Love
Yeah.
and Thunder was a admirable attempt at it, but did not quite match Ragnarok. Ragnarok is kind of the bar now, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Guardians of the Galaxy and Ragnarok are the bar, and maybe Infinity War. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they're all great movies.
Avengers,
Because
definitely.
they balance
the first
everything
Avengers
out very
film.
well.
The first
It just-
Avengers film is a great one.
Love and Thunder, I enjoyed the watch. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to disparage it. I'll watch it a couple of more times. Just to highlight some fucking amazing aspects. Let's talk about that black and white segment
Yes.
where there's just hints of color, where they go into the shadow realm where color dare not dread, but because of their weapons, they generate some light that generates color.
Yeah.
And that is gorgeous.
Very well shot. Very well done.
Holy shit, is that scene just amazing.
I was slightly distracted. Usually on rewatches, I am not as deeply concentrated, but that scene captured me
Yeah.
this time around. And
I loved that scene. I thought it was just so cool. Just the hints of color they got from the weapons. The choreography was solid. Fight scenes, I mean, gore, as far as as enemies go, like Christian Bale did a great job, but I feel like Gore got a little snubbed. I feel like there was a little bit more they could have done there.
Oh, of course, there always is. I mean, that's the problem with the cinematic versus the comics, is that
Well, no, I was gonna say, like, Killmonger got a great amount of quality screen time that made him worthwhile.
But there, I feel like there's like people argued, oh, there still could have been more done with him. There's always like more that could be done with characters and in comics, it's much easier to just go back and do a full backstory on a character after they've died. You know, whoa, we'll just go back and do like a fucking story about them, way back when. You know, like Killmonger in the army, in Africa, learning about his culture. You know, on his own. Like they could have. Like I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I
they
don't
did
know.
do that in comic form, and so it's
Oh
just
yeah.
easier for them to do that, and it's difficult because in the movies they always feel the need to kill off the villains, and I don't fucking get it. I don't know why they don't do the fucking DC thing where or the original DC thing before Zack Snyder came along, where they would pretty much never kill off the villain at the end. They would just like leave it open for okay, they could be maybe back.
Have you not seen Man of Steel?
No, I said before Zack Snyder came along.
Oh, I was thinking of the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Like they would always like maybe imply that they died, but also leave it kind of open, you know. Um,
Well, like, yeah, look at Aquaman. He doesn't kill Ocean Master, and Suicide Squad. I don't think they kill Enchantress.
No, they don't.
Or even the Suicide Squad. Yeah, they kill Starro, but
but so many people die in
Peacemaker,
the Suicide
obviously.
Squad.
Yeah, but Peacemaker obviously survived and made a whole show about him.
Well, yeah.
So,
I'm not talking about
no, there's
him.
some point to be said there. For sure.
So many people die. There is like 12 people who die in that first scene of that movie.
I know, it's
Oh
amazing.
my god! No, we're not. We're not talking about this right now.
Fair
I. So, have you heard about Overwatch 2? Did you ever play Overwatch?
I never played Overwatch. I had no interest in that game whatsoever.
You're a shooter fan, right?
I'm a shooter fan, but I'm not a multiplayer combat.
That's okay. That's
fan.
true.
So
We've
that's
talked about that.
that's the difference. Is I like shooters. I like playing Halo and like Gears of War because I like games with a good story and good engaging combat.
Yeah.
But a game that's solely basis, and I know Overwatch has a story, but the game that solely bases itself in the multiplayer,
Yeah.
like Overwatch and Call of Duty and shit like that, doesn't blow my skirt up
Yeah.
there, homie.
I completely understand that, and of course, with Overwatch, like the first game, you'd have to fucking buy the game, and then it would only be multiplayer. Now they have completely done away with Overwatch. I don't understand this what they've really done here. They got rid of Overwatch, and now it's just Overwatch 2. It's updated graphics. They've basically done a massive overhaul of everything and just changed like some minor things in the layout of how everything works. It doesn't feel like it's a new game. It just feels like they massively updated
It's like
it.
a big patch,
Big
instead of an entire new
patch.
game.
It's a big patch that made it free. But that freedom comes at a cost. They
Of course
have
it does.
brought in so much more microtransactions. They've done away with their gambling loot
Jesus.
boxes and are now pushing their fucking bullshit costumes and shit for $4.99 and $19.99 and $49.99 and we'll get this big pack for $99.99. You know, get those.
And guess what? You pay them $69.99, and Blizzard will blow you.
Exactly. You know, it's a predatory. I'm cutting that sound out, you piece of shit. It's a predatory thing that Blizzard does, and I don't.
Timestamp 4420, FYI.
I'm not keeping notes. I'm just gonna listen to it again, like a good editor. but it's just weird and bad, and I don't like publishers to do it. But push that aside. Overwatch 1 was a game that meant a lot to me. I played a lot. I put a lot of hours into that game. A lot of hours, probably upward of 1,000 hours into that game. And it, despite not liking multiplayer games, the combat and catharsis that came from the gameplay was so intoxicating that I didn't care about the multiplayer. I just wanted to keep playing because, they had made such a well constructed engine and gameplay. And that continues here, obviously, with better graphics and everything. And they've done a lot of interesting things to the character models and how they work and how they function and what their abilities are. And I would love, maybe not now, but they are going to be releasing story content that is not like multiplayer in 2023. And I am hoping that, I think that it is optional for multiplayer to do the story stuff, and it would be fun for potentially you and I to maybe play through it, maybe just for a few hours, and I would get your opinion on the fluidity of the combat and the possibilities of what that this kind of engine could do with different stories and ideas.
I'd be on board with that. I'm all for a good, even a okay story. As long as it doesn't cost me, as long as the cost is proportional to the story I'm getting. So if it's just like, hey,
it's a free game.
Yeah, currently it's free, but it's like, oh, story content's going to cost you $60. I might be like,
no, that they're not doing that.
I'm just putting out an example.
Yeah, of course not.
But if they're like, oh yeah, come play the story content for like 10, 15, $20, then I could be persuaded to do it. And check it out, do some co-op. I do like a lot of co-op shooters. You and I play through the Borderlands games, and we're working through Gears of War and stuff like that. So I'm on board with that. Keep me posted on the story, and I could be persuaded on that. I have no interest in playing the game online with a bunch of 12-year-olds who will be like, "I'm gonna kick your ass," and it's like, all right, dude, shut the fuck up.
No, that's totally fair.
Not enough alcohol
that's totally
in the
fair.
world for me to deal with.
I honestly,
ass, so.
I play with and just turn off the other players.
But even still, I've never enjoyed, I played Destiny for a while, which is a big multiplayer game, and I got into in multiplayer a little bit. Even Halo Infinite, and it's fun, but it's just, I don't know. It doesn't do a whole lot for me.
All right, that's fair. So. That's very fair. It's not for everyone.
Exactly.
Online multiplayer is not for everyone.
Not why I play video games. So we're almost 50 minutes in. So we start the show, or should we end the show?
I think we should find our final topic.
Well, you took a giant leap from Thor: Love and Thunder to Overwatch, which I
felt like that we would put like a break in there. I'm thinking about putting breaks in our conversations.
Yeah, you can think about putting a lot in there. So
I'm also just. Off recording. I'm thinking of asking Reed for a little help on doing with TikTok for this, and then we could.
Oh Jesus!
And YouTube Shorts. So we could, but it would be a good way to just throw out some of the short bits in here that are really funny, and just encourage people what is this from? And it's this podcast and. Maybe get a few more listeners, but we'd be putting out those little short bits.
If you guys want to do the work for that, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I have no interest in it,
it's just a way to market, man.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Because the thing, I am constantly just flipping through YouTube Shorts, and I'll see something. I'll see a lot of popular stuff, but I'll also see just something posted by some random person.
Yeah,
and sometimes it has no reactions to it. And sometimes they do. Excuse me. So if we just if we posted like something really funny, that would get somebody's attention.
Your little monologue from last episode should definitely go.
I was thinking about that as well. It's like
hysterical.
I don't even know what the lead up to it is, but I listened to it again and I was like, it's just as funny as I remember it. And I died after. When I realized you had been listening to me.
It was so amazing.
But that means
so you went from Thor: Love and Thunder. You went from there. You went to Overwatch.
Well, then let me make a huge jump again and finish off the show with a bookmark. We talked about House of Dragon at the beginning. Why don't we finish by talking a little bit about Rings of Power? The new Lord of the Rings Amazon show.
I mean, you can talk about it, but I've never played Overwatch. I've never seen House of the Dragon. I haven't seen an episode of Rings of Power. So, just prepared for a one-sided conversation.
I'm just gonna finish the show by giving you a little preview and telling you to watch it. You are a fan of continuity. We set that up in this show already. We've talked about this. You like it when
I do like it when things are cohesive
exactly
from one iteration to the next. So
you liked the Peter Jackson films.
Yeah.
You felt like they were cohesive and they fit together.
Yeah, even Lord of the Rings to The Hobbit.
Yes.
I mean, as much as The Hobbit you CGI and had issues with the story, you still felt like you were part of Middle Earth and that world.
Okay, well, I think that you are going to love this show because it feels like it is just more of that.
Okay.
It is a perfect continuous adaptation in the kind of vision. This is almost a fan love letter to Peter Jackson. Like they obviously like watched the movies and were like, we want more of this, and said we're gonna take all of this, change only the stuff, only like they don't. Well, no, they fucking don't change anything practically. They just make it a little bit better in places, and then all the practicals are really good. My only problem with this show is some of the characters are a little flat. But that is something that can change in time.
And that's a direction thing, not necessarily a world-building thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's not even all the characters. Some of the characters I find very interesting. But it's like a half and half sort of thing,
Okay.
So I'd give this show a B, maybe a B+. It has amazing cinematography. I watched an episode with Reed, our good friend Reed. I watched an episode with him, and we were simply fucking blown away by this transition when a Palantir gets involved. That's all I'll say. It was amazing transition, and we literally were like, "Oh!"
Peeking,
I know, but we literally
right in my ear.
Literally, were so fucking blown away, and so that's all I'm gonna say about the show. I think that you should watch it, and so we can talk about it. It's only gonna be 8 episodes this season. I think it's gonna just be 8 episodes each season, but I'm excited to see where they keep going with this. I understand people have frustrations. They can fuck off for the most part.
You heard it here, folks.
For the most part, they can fuck
off.
For the most part, they can fuck off because for the most part, the people who are frustrated are racist assholes.
Yeah, I don't care if elves are black.
Yeah. Then you will not have a problem with this show. That's basically.
I mean. Has anybody watched The Witcher recently? I'm pretty sure in the first season they introduced a black elf. So like, why is this a new thing?
Oh, I have no idea.
Get bent, fuckers.
Because this is Lord of the Rings and that's Witcher. They can get bent.
Yeah, exactly. Get fucked. So, all right. Ringing endorsement. You heard it here, folks. Graham Stadnevsky in the Rings of Power. He is endorsing it with a B+ stamp.
Yeah.
So let's. We'll give it a shot. I do think next episode though. So we'll do that. We'll talk about Rings of Power. We'll see if it is 8 episodes or even more, and I will catch up and we'll do an episode on that. But I think the next one, just to give everybody a sneak preview, we're going to talk the John Wick movie series. That also includes the Bob Odenkirk starring Nobody.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. I was reading about it. It's the same creators as John Wick that made Nobody, and it was kind of their attempt to take when they made John Wick, it was kind of this like slightly fantastical, guy who just needs revenge for his dog being killed, and he's like maybe a little bit better at fighting than realistically is possible. And then the second movie came out, and it was like, okay, maybe he's a little bit more fantastical than that.
And then the third movie's like, John Wick is a god.
And then the third movie, yeah. And then Nobody was like there, okay, let's rein it in, and let's do a actually realistic story with real consequences to it within the same universe. Let's see the not underground mafia version of it. And I'm excited to explore that. I'm excited to explore that because they're
sounds like a good concept.
They're gonna do
idea.
They're gonna do a sequel, and I would love to see that universe develop.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that on
I've
the
seen
next
the
episode.
3 John Wick movies. I have not yet seen Nobody, so I will make my Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions official homework to check out Nobody so that we can talk about it on next week's episode. In the meantime, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this week's episode.
Yeah.
Sound about right?
That sounds about right. How are you feeling?
Drunk.
Very good.
It's kind of the point, right?
I would say so.
All right. Well, I have just enough drink in my glass to, do a nice little sign off. So why don't you tell the folks where we can find you in the meantime there, Mr. Graham?
Oh, man. I really need to get my website set up, don't I?
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks ago. You're like, next week, mad-musings.com. Come check me out. Get your shit together.
I know. I'm just like, I don't know how to make it work. But whatever. You
It's
can find
a writing website. You put your writings on it, you hit publish. How the fuck hard is it?
I'm not technically savvy. I'm bad at setting up the website. So shush.
It's a fucking Squarespace. Or whatever it is. Like WordPress.
Yeah.
An infant could figure that shit out.
That's how bad I am with tech. So anyway,
Christ.
You can find me at mad-musings.com, where you can find my writings, my
Can we though?
my
Can we?
stories, my shorter stories.
I don't know if we can at this point.
Let's be honest. By the time people are actually listening to this, the website will be up.
Yeah, in 2 days, get a look at that fucker.
Nobody is gonna be, like people. The only time people are ever gonna be listening to this is like in 10 years when this show has suddenly...
When the internet doesn't exist because the fucking dinosaurs have taken over the planet? Okay.
In 10 years when we've actually made it and somebody is actually like dedicated and goes back and listens to all the early episodes and is like, oh shit, listening to this part right now. Hey, you, the person who has come back in 10 years and is like...
The one asshole from 2033.
The one fucking asshole.
Wow.
You listening here right now, I know you, I can see you, fuck you.
And that's the one lesson we lost from the future.
Exactly. That was the point. That's the whole point.
I'm still reeling from the fact that you're like, we're going to be so big in the 2030s that they're going to come back and listen to this. It's like, nobody knows who the fuck we are. Who gives a shit?
It'll be after Greenlit and Equal Time.
Spoilers, bitch. Social medias.
You can find me at Outrageous Creation on Instagram, and my writings will be out soon. And Corey,
Fucking well better. That
where can we
website's
find
going to
you?
be pretty barren.
Corey, where can we find you?
Likely at the bar getting drunk, but on the internet. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go ahead and just type in at RoxyBoy, ROKESYBOY. You can find me on all that fun bullshit for all that stupid bullshit that is social media. I do have a website. The URL to get there is extremely long because I don't pay for my shit, so it's some long, weird Wix URL that I'm not going to recount here. But if you're interested, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at the previously mentioned username ROKESYBOY, and I'll be happy to share it with you. I'm pretty sure it's pinned to like all the profiles too, so if you don't want to talk to me, which is pretty common for most people, you can still find it.
All right, well, that about sums it up, doesn't it? You, the asshole from the future who's come back to listen to this, we're talking listener. To you. We're talking to you. Hi. Get a fucking life.
Kyle Reese over here from the Terminator series is like, I really cared about your podcast. But you know what? I'm going to let Skynet take it over now. That's what's going to happen.
Oh my god, that's probably what's going to happen is we're going to be like, actually, maybe not like famous, but semi-popular in the future. And people are listening to this podcast and all of a sudden, like, we offended this one fucking person who's listening to this right now. This fat fucking asshole. I don't know, I'm just...
Why is it got to be fat, Graham?
No, I don't know. I don't know why he has to. It just has to be.
Jesus.
Because I'm imagining that guy from fucking South Park.
Fair. Have you seen Terminator 1? Don't answer that. Just go and
yes,
smoke
I
more
have
weed.
seen Terminator 1. I have not seen Terminator 2, though.
Oh, Christ, dude. That's the James Cameron one. That's like the best one.
I know. I need to go see that one.
Yeah, that's that. I'm gonna watch Nobody. Terminator 2, Judgment Day is your fucking homework.
Fine.
Deal.
In
the meantime, everybody listening, all three of you, go have yourselves a wonderful night. I've been Corey Rokes, and I've been your Drunk Thoughts.
I am Graham Stebniewski, and I have been your High Opinions. Have a good night.